Can hear it too. All right. It is Content Creation Thursday. Hey, you may not be watching this on a Thursday. You may be watching it on a Sunday, whatever, but Thursdays are our content creation. And this is You Can't Make This Shit Up. David Washington, Joel Hawksley.
I'm glad to be here.
Yes, he is. Woo! We are in the heart of the election cycle. Some people may think it's early. However, for us politicos, us in particular, us political innovators, we are in the thick of things. And hey, again, you can't make this shit up. Not a day sometimes or week passes that we're like, wow.
Well, I mean, we can't make this shit up because we have Hawkins. We have Hawkins who's decided to resign from his seat. Mm-hmm. The governor is allowing this seat to have at least 200 days without any coverage. We have a special election because Hawkins is now a president of a university with no. I have tried to. I'm a Republican, and I have tried to figure out, other than him being the poster child for getting certain bills passed for the governor, I don't see any education. Like not a teacher, not an administrator. Like just I don't see how Hawkins got this, but. Maybe he can get coal ash. Maybe he can get coal ash delivered to the school, or they can figure out how coal ash got from Puerto Rico into Kissimmee. Hey, but on a better note, we'll talk Republicans because he is the one who resigned.
Yes, sir. And
the heir apparent that the Republicans are thinking about will be, a Republican. So let's
okay.
Let's talk about
the gauntlet is thrown down.
Let's talk about let's go backwards. So,
okay,
Scotty Moore ran for District 9, Congressional District. He won the. Okay, let's go through this. He effed up his paperwork and sued and got on the ballot because he used the state paperwork for the federal.
Okay.
So that mistake, however that happened, he got on the ballot. So, and he wins the nomination. So Scotty thinks he's a big deal now because he's done that. So he's a private businessman. He's really, holier than thou. So I hope there's no dirty laundry in that closet, because when you go for I am so religious that I want to fix the entire world, that's the Christian Coalition type stuff, not the tax, I'm going to forget the term. But, there's several different types of Republicans. We come from several different backgrounds. So he would be to the right of Attila the Hun.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I mean. he's that candidate.
Yes.
So I'm gonna call it like it. Did I say that I don't like Scotty Moore? No, I didn't. I do like Scotty Moore. He's a great individual.
Sure.
He's very confident when he speaks. I think he would make a prime addition to the legislature because he would fit right in, and he would. But I don't think he would know what to do with the advantage of a special election, putting him in to a freshman class that would start. Never mind. We won't go through that because we pick our speakers differently, and that's a whole different show.
And from what I've seen of Scotty Moore and what I've heard, you're right about moving to the far right. That's where he's comfortable. That's his platform. And in elections like a special election, you'll see the hardcore voters come out. And for the Republicans, the hardcore voter is someone who would likely support a Scotty Moore candidacy.
Right, but do they know? I mean, they're hardcore Scotty Moore. You know, is it because he ran? Does he have the name recognition? Mm-hmm. Where is his placement on the ballot?
Right.
A lot of things play into this. So I'm going to then move up to Ken Davenport. I know nothing major about Ken Davenport.
I know Ken Davenport. I met him a couple of times during events in House District 35 during the election last year in 2022. Jovial gentleman, family man, lives in Avalon. I met him while canvassing Avalon with then candidate Richie Baga. And very charismatic, very loquacious, very, very talkative, very confident. There's no doubt about that. Very confident. He poured a lot of his own resources into his campaign. I remember that in one of the conversations with Mr. Davenport, he was stating how the party. The party elite, and these are my words, the party regulars seem to be targeting his campaign. He had his truck that was it's like a small U-Haul truck painted with his campaign slogan, his colors, his name. It was broken into. It was stolen. It parks. He moves it along Alafaya, yes, Alafaya Trail at different locations, so you can see it as you drive down Alafaya. And his car, his pickup truck, he has it decorated and
well, you could tell you can tell he likes to show his patriotism. I mean, if you just see the pictures, he's got the red, white, and blue tie.
Yes.
It's a flag tie. His family photo is there it is again. He's got that same tie. He's got the red tie, so he's keeping to the Republican. So just when he did his photos, they were all done at the same time.
Sure.
So when you look at somebody's website and how it's been put together, it kind of tells you, hey, I'm transitioning. I want this. I want my name on the ballot. He probably would be an individual that's not going to get a lot of attention, especially placed in the middle of the ballot.
He does create his own excitement, particularly
but you
last
need to know
year.
Him.
But you're right.
You need to know him, right?
Right, and he tries to market himself as best as he can with the golf cart, decorated with the Republican branding, with his branding.
But you can't win this election just by winning Avalon.
I know.
So, I mean, we have to look at the big picture on that. So, let's see. It's Erica Booth, correct?
Yes,
Erica Booth. This is, if I'm not mistaken, Erica is a school board member because she took over her husband's seat.
Yes.
So we would have suspected, since he took Hawkins' seat, that he would want this seat and she would want his seat. But that's not the case. She's going to jump over her husband to go up to Tallahassee because she needs a part-time job, just like the part-time job she has now, which is not a part-time. I want you all to know it's not a part-time job when you're on the school board. But so Erica Booth has the name recognition. Erica Booth is got the Osceola, creds there.
Yes.
Booth is a name that's known. Special election, first on the ballot. Booth has the momentum.
Yes.
No matter what you say, Scotty, just because he ran that campaign, doesn't have the cred that Erica brings to the table. So I call Erica Booth the front runner. At this point, I say Erica Booth wins this election, and I'm sure she's planning right now on the Democrats. Because I don't think she's even going to think about, not even show up to sully her name with these other two.
With Erica Booth, again, and this is something that we'll touch on in another broadcast, the nepotism, all the families who are involved in politics, and husbands and wives and daughters and sons running for office, being elected. We'll talk about that.
Oh.
We're seeing a lot of that again in this cycle, but that applies to Booth.
So can I make some jokes like I usually do?
Sure.
So there are actually 4 candidates in this race for the Republican nominee.
Okay.
So I just want you all to know that when we talk about family affair, it is a family affair. Okay. But I can't mention her name in this broadcast. I will have to mention it in another broadcast because she is a registered Democrat, running as a Democrat, moving into the district, and trying to follow in her husband's footsteps. So I will definitely cover that because I'm not going to be quiet any longer. Republicans need to start calling what they're doing up front. They need to be up front.
Yes, right.
I
can't wait to explore that and take it a little bit further. Also, all 3 of the Republican candidates have qualified for the special election, so they're moving forward. Demetrius Grimes filed for the 2024 campaign, but however, he stepped out and has publicly supported Erica Booth. So that gives, Ms. Booth some chops, some credibility in this particular race when you have someone like Demetrius say, hey.
So those that don't know, those that don't know Demetrius Grimes, former commander in the United States Navy, flew aircraft. I should know exactly what aircraft he flew because he says it all the time. But a friend. So disclosure, he's a friend. I talked about this race with him. I did tell him, from my perspective, what I thought. And I think that after he talked to these people, he realized that this was the candidate to follow. So good that he actually came out and said, I'm putting my money on somebody.
Right.
A lot of people won't do that when they jump out of a race.
Good point.
But I love this race. I think it's going to be fun to watch. I think nobody's going to show up, and I think Erica Booth is going to take it. I just don't see these individuals doing the effort. Sure, they'll spend the money, but are they going to do the effort that it takes to get people to come out? The only thing happening in 2023 is in Orlando. So it's the same date. This primary is the same date as the Orlando election, and there's only one.
That's correct.
There's only one precinct. If
430. Yes.
That's actually
430.
voting for the city that day.
And we know how turnout is for those city elections.
Oh yeah, that's a story in itself. We haven't even talked about the city elections. Most times that people ask me what's going on in the city, I was like, I really don't know. It's nothing to keep up with because there's nobody talking about it. And it should be the talk of the town.
That's right.
but our media
That's
doesn't
right.
cover it. Everything's quiet, but we'll talk about,
And shame on the media.
we'll talk about Worrell today, or, because that just happened. We'll talk about all these different things that make no sense to be at the top. This is local. Nobody thinks local anymore. Now, she's state attorney. She's local.
Right.
But how does she trump a tax collector going in, a tax collector having another follow up? So, I mean, another one went to jail for Greenberg. That's what I'm getting at. So, Republicans, unite, get behind a candidate, make sure you come out to vote. This will be a deciding. This victory can decide a speakership if you think about it. So I'm going to back off of that. So, because if it's Scotty, he's not going to do it.
Good call. That's a good call, Joel. I see Booth as the favorite in this race. Of course, we're keeping a close eye on this particular race in preparation of a Democrat that we work with running against the Republicans.
Which is a disclaimer for the next one. So
exactly.
we will never hide the fact if we have a client that is in one of these races. I'm always going to be right up front how I feel about certain things. I'm always going to be a Republican. I'm never going to be a Democrat, but we're a nonpartisan. J.M. Washington is nonpartisan for a reason, because I know while I'm doing my planning and I'm doing the things for my candidate, I have a Democrat that's going to remind me what I'm going to face when I get to the general election. So that's kind of where I am with my with a candidate that David is running. I'm not going to be quiet when I see him take a position that I say, just don't forget that we're going to pound you with this. We're going to win on this. I have no qualms at keeping that quiet. So again, this is really easy, a short one. Erica Booth has the edge on this one. She has the placement on the ballot for this one. She really does. And the city election could help Davenport, maybe, because he's in Avalon, which is close to the city. So he might be able to pull that one voting block, maybe. But I don't give it any. But Scotty Moore, the name's cute, but I'm sorry. I don't think he has a lot of money, though. He puts a lot of his own money in.
Yes, he does.
So
sharp dresser. I like his suits.
Always. I mean, if he didn't have a beard, see, that's the thing. He wouldn't have a beard and mustache if he was my client, because I was like, I can't look at don't get me wrong, beards and mustaches, I like them. I sometimes, grow mine out.
Yep.
But when you have that much hair, and I'm trying to look at you seriously, I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at how your beard is walking around, and I'm looking at maybe if you have food in it. Or
That's a very good point as far as candidate preparation, and I feel the same way, that it's a distraction. And when I do see Scotty Moore and he's talking, et cetera, as a candidate, it's a distraction.
Yeah, you look at the suit because you don't want to look at. I mean, several different things. Candidates need to realize, what do I look like? What do I look like? How do I present myself across?
Sound like
the. Sorry, you might want to go to Leadership Academy because you'd hear this. But listen, keep the beard and mustache. It works for some people, but just make sure. Look, I'm a big supporter of my congressman, and Mills came here. He shaved like he was supposed to. He following the directions, and he found it was so comfortable amongst the people that he grew it out while he was growing his brand. So naturally, people worked with it. It was like, okay, I saw him when he didn't have it. He looks better with it. He doesn't. He trims it well. There's a lot of things that go in. If you're going to wear something,
right,
you need to wear it, and you need to wear it good. So I'm just saying, Erica's gonna wear this, the suits or whatever she's wearing, what dresses or whatever she's wearing. She's gonna wear them well.
All right.
And I don't think she's gonna be a distraction.
Yeah.
That's it. Red, white, and blue. Davenport, Scotty Moore, right of Attila the Hun, Erica Booth, moderate Republican from Osceola County.
Like, share, hit the notification button, but more importantly, we know you're out there because we communicate with you almost every day. Comments. We love to hear your comments. We love to respond to your comments and continue the conversation. So please join our socials. We'll interact with you. We'll engage with you on our socials. We are your political innovators. That's Joel Hawksley. I'm David Washington, and you can't make this shit up. Yeah.
I'm not Davenport.